All right, parents, I'm back. So now, students should already know, or should know, some of that vocabulary that we talked about last time. And what we're going to do next is get into another experiment. So this time, we're going to be looking at solubility, we're going to be looking at concentration, we're going to be looking at temperatures of things, and we're going to be testing some more variables. So in this case, we kind of tried to go through some of the planning of an investigation, carrying out an investigation about 2 episodes ago when we put the Skittle or the M&M in the plate. Now we're going to apply that same or a very similar procedure to a new problem. So the questions we're going to answer today are: what happens if the water has different temperatures? Do the M&Ms spread out, does the ink spread out the same amount if the water is warm versus if the water is cold? Now, you don't need boiling water. If you just do kind of put some ice in some water and let that sit for a minute to get some ice water, some just regular tap water would be a second one, and then a third one, just turn the hot water on and kind of get some warm water to set up for that third experiment or the third trial. In terms of other variables they're going to need to keep constant, the level of the water is always a good one to keep constant. Be sure they don't bump anything. The color of the M&M, I think we found out before that the color does make a difference. So they need to use the same color M&M in every plate. And they might screw that up. If they use a green one and a red one, the green may just go faster in general than the red. I'm not sure if that's true, but they want to be sure they use the same color of Skittle or the same color of M&M in each plate, because we found that information out in a previous lab. The second experiment they're going to do, also very quickly, is different concentrations of sugar already in the water. So to do this, you can have one plate that has just plain water in it, right? Then take a cup and just put in like a spoonful or maybe a spoonful and a half of sugar, dissolve it down, and then use that for your second plate, okay? Then you can take that same cup of sugar, that's already kind of sugar water, and just saturate it. Put 4 or 5 spoonfuls in so you have a lot of sugar in there. It's really saturated. And use that for your third plate. Now, in terms of how this works, is they have to kind of, I mean, they should be able to model, they should be able to tell you that the molecules or the little pieces of dye, the little molecules of dye, are trying to spread out through the gaps in the water molecules. But if the water molecules already have sugar in them, it's hard for them to get through the crowd. And so it does actually go a lot slower when you have the concentrated sugar. So that idea of modeling molecules in their head, or even being able to draw or explain how that works, is a huge deal for 5th graders. These are things they can't see. These are tiny little molecules that they can't actually experiment, with. They can't hold. They are abstractly thinking about these things in order to make the simulation or the model of thinking about how they're trying to get through the crowd, but if there's more things in the way, it takes a lot more time to get through that crowd or through the solution. What a great way to start them thinking about particles that they can't see. So, after today, they're going to have a pretty good understanding of how particles move through materials and how different particles move differently through different materials. This is going to lead us into tomorrow's activity. Tomorrow's activity is where they actually figure out about the cupcakes. So we're going to go back to the cupcakes, and they're going to do something called paper chromatography, where they figure out who wrote that note that I left for the cupcakes. So, again, thank you so much for all the help that you've put in. If you have any questions, please contact your teacher or contact me at likescience2020@gmail.com, and I will see you next time.